Arsenal back for Sacha Boey, and I think he's the under 21, under 23 French international and plays for Galatasaray. He's a versatile defender, and Arsenal are really back for him. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. This is the Arsenal News Show. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name, and hope you guys are really doing fine. And so, God has gone ahead to bless us with life to see another day. The Muslims Barakallahu fikum, and let's continue to obviously see to it that we get ourselves to where we deserve to be as far as such videos are really concerned. And content of all your football teams apart from Manchester United. Remember, if you are a Man United supporter, your place to be is United Matters channel. You can as well find me there. That's the other sister channel, but this is our main channel that does all content of other clubs apart from Manchester United. And today the lead story is all about Sacha Boey, who is really one of those players that plays in Turkey, and Arsenal is back for him. And there is a very huge update that Arsenal needs, that Arsenal fans need to know about the man himself. What's the name of the guy? The guy is called what's his name? The guy is called Cedric Soares. One of those are going to play, I think, like 2 or 3 games for the club of Arsenal, and he has only started in like 2 or 3 games. Looks like there is interest that is genuine coming in from Turkey, and Arsenal might use this to together obviously raise funds to get in players in the winter transfer window. Let's see close to 200 likes. Smash on this video. Don't forget to subscribe because you've already gonna hit 19,000 subscribers, and our mission is to hit how many subscribers? We want to hit how many subscribers? We want to hit what's the magic number? The magic number is 20,000, and before the end of this month, that's the magic number we want to hit. Now, let's obviously start it off with a story coming in through from the court offside, confirming to us that Arsenal are reportedly keen on versatile French fullback, that is Sacha Boey, who will cost around £18 million. That is what you're getting in from court offside. Now, Sacha Boey is a French defender, and he literally plays in every position of the central defense. I've gone ahead to see him. He's elite as a right back, and he's elite as a central defender. And this is why I would obviously go for him as a perfect fit in the situation in which Arsenal is. Why? He can come in through and obviously give you the Saliba duties. He's really talented, and he can play as a right back, and the right back position he plays is really very important to note that he is really great when it comes to really the offensive duties, and defensively is really right. I myself saw him play for the club of Galatasaray when they are beating Man United at Old Trafford by 3-2 and drawing with Man United in Galatasaray 3-3. So I saw him, and he's really a very good guy. And by the way, Arsenal is going in for this guy again. Remember, in the summer, they are contemplating on either bringing him in, or Cancelo, or Julian Timber. But looked like was the third choice, for the defender they wanted. And after missing out on the first choice, that was João Cancelo, as Manchester City was not willing to sell João Cancelo to Arsenal. Arsenal decided to go in for Julian Timber from Ajax, though he really got injured on his first Premier League game in the 46th minute. He really saw himself get an injury that is going to keep him out for close to 6 months. Almost 3/4 of the season are not going to be played by this guy. So now, when Arsenal is looking at right backs, there are 2 options that they're interested in. There is the Dutch, Frimpong. I've gone ahead to do stories about him, and Sacha Boey. Sacha Boey is really great, and the beauty of Sacha Boey and why I would really think that Arsenal should go in for Sacha Boey and make a deal with him is he can also play in the central defense, and he's really physical. His height is really great, and he can obviously take you to where you deserve to be as a side of Arsenal. When you look at Sacha Boey, he's 23 years of age, right? 23 years of age, and he's 1.78 meters tall, and for Galatasaray this season, he has gone ahead to play 18 games in the League of Turkey, that is the Super League. He has 1 goal, 0 assists, 4 yellow cards, and 0 red cards. In the Champions League, he has gone ahead to play 12 12 games and he has 1 goal. Remember, for them, they had to play the other qualifying games, right? Now, those qualifying games, when you add on the 6 they've gone ahead to play in the group stages, it sums them up to that. So he is really a very good player, and he's not an injury-prone player. That is very huge to note, because Arsenal, or any team, needs players who are really gonna be readily available every time they're called upon by the manager to obviously represent. But Frimpong is also good, but he's not a versatile player. That is it. I think he can only get you the right back role. And right now in the game of football, you shouldn't go in with a player who can only play in only one position. I can refer to the signings that Arsenal made, apart from the goalkeeper, because the goalkeeper only plays in between the stitches of Arsenal. But when you look at the first signing they made of the summer, that is Kai Havertz, he can play as a right forward, he can play as a center forward, he can play as a left forward, he can play as a number 10, he can play as a number 8. So that's the dynamism that we are talking about. When you look at the second signing of Arsenal this season was, I think it was Julian Timber, you know. So Julian Timber came in through, and Julian Timber went ahead to obviously play in lots of positions. He can play as a right back, he can play as a central defender, he can play as a left back, he can also be inverted into the midfield if at all you feel like you want to see him thrive in there. And Declan Rice, he can play as a central defender, he can play as a number 8, he can play as a number 10, he can play as a right back. That is Declan Rice for you. So he has a lot to offer to the side of Arsenal. And I think in the modern game of football, it's always bad to go in and get in a player who is just fixed, that can only play one position. You need a player who can be versatile, such that when injuries catch up on you, all you have to do is simple. Get in the best of the other players because of their dynamism, and they will obviously fill the void. So that's why I would go for Sacha Boey over Frimpong. Frimpong is good, but when you look at the situation in which Arsenal is in, if Saliba gets an injury, that means you have to pull Benjamin White to play with Gabriel Magalhaes in the central defense, and then you have to put Thomas Partey as the right back, or leave Ben White as the right back and play 2 left-sided centre backs into the central defense, as Jakub Kiwior is being played onto the right side of the central defense. That's one of the things that Arsenal must be doing. So I think if you get in Sacha Boey, he can obviously cover up very well, such that if you want to really rest Saliba, or when Saliba is injured, you can as well tell Sacha Boey to play as a right back, and Benjamin White plays into the right side centre back. Then you can also twist it around. Tell Benjamin White, stay playing as a right back, and Sacha Boey should play as a right side centre back. But going forward and defensively, Sacha Boey is better than this guy, and he's more talented than Benjamin White. That is it. So let's wait and see how that pans out. But Arsenal is back for Sacha Boey, because even the summer they were in for him and they never went ahead to get him, because they went in for the one and only Julian Timber. And Fresneda was also on the list. Who else was on the list? If at all, Castegane, was linked a little bit to Arsenal. Castegane, who was at Leicester, now is playing, I think, for Fulham. That is it. So it was really a huge transfer window for Arsenal. And in the winter transfer window, they are yet to make a decision on who they're obviously going to sign as their player in there for you. So guys, let's obviously go to the player that is supposed to pave way for this guy to come in through, and that is a player called Cedric Soares, who is in his 30s, and Arsenal look like it's high time they offloaded him from their team. Now, Record Portugal has told us that Besiktas have intensified contacts to sign Cedric Soares. Player now signed as a free player for next season. In this sense, Arsenal should not complicate the conclusion of a deal. That is it. Then the Mail Sport went ahead to add that Besiktas are in talks with Arsenal for a potential transfer of Cedric Soares. The Portuguese defender is at the end of his contract with the Gunners in June, meaning that his contract is running down in June. And Sammy McBell, who is a chief football reporter at the Daily Mail, has confirmed to us that Cedric Soares is emerging as a serious target for Besiktas this month. With talks over a move underway, the finer details of the potential move are still to be decided, with Cedric Soares in the final 6 months of the deal at Arsenal. Now, if you are Arsenal, all you would pray for is not to see it that you obviously see Cedric Soares going in on a free deal. Even if you get in like 3 million euros, that will be something good that can obviously help you in any deal. Even if you get in 3, it can help you to obviously top up to make it 18. So for Sacha Boey, for Cedric Soares, I've gone ahead to admire him, especially as far as his offensive play is really concerned, but defensively is really suspect, and I think Arsenal have gone ahead to make a very bad decision not to sell this guy in the summer. At least, if they were to sell him in the summer, they would have gone ahead to get more than 6 or 7 million euros, but they obviously never went ahead to sell him, and he was at Fulham for the last 6 months of last season, and I think Fulham were not all that impressed to obviously make his deal permanent. But right now, Arsenal really having players whose contracts are really running off in the summer, like Cedric Soares. There is El Nini. You understand? I don't know what exactly they're going to do about them, but it looks like for Arsenal, they can easily terminate even the contract and obviously compensate the wages and let the player go now. If at all time has come when this player is in position to leave the club of Arsenal, I think Arsenal will have to obviously gate in another player. That is it. That's why I've always told you that if I'm Arsenal, all I have to first look at is a right back who plays or who balances the offensive and the defensive side a lot. That's why for me, Sacha Boey comes in through to do the job for the club of Arsenal. And for Cedric Soares, I think he has not gone ahead to enjoy himself ever since Mikel Arteta came in through the club of Arsenal. He hasn't enjoyed himself, and there have been no signals that Arteta trusts him to do the job. So I think even the player himself is okay, with being a bench player and not being that starter, because he knows that even if he's a starter, he cannot obviously go ahead and compete at the Portuguese national team. With Diego Dallo coming in through, Cancelo available, there is no way Cedric Soares can obviously get to the Portuguese team. And I think that was going to hit obviously relax him, and because he's in London and he finds himself in better positions as a player to really rub shoulders with some of the best players in the world, the respect he commands when he's playing for Arsenal. I think that is going to hate to put him in the comfort zone that for him it's okay with him. But if I told Mikel Arteta, I cannot really allow a player who does not complain on regular playing time in my team. That means his focus and mentality is not meant for Arsenal, because Arsenal is meant to be having 22 players, and these 2 players, all these players are supposed to be competing for 2 positions. Like when you look at Saliba has no competitor at Arsenal. That is it. But Gabriel Magalhaes has Jakub Kivio, Zinchenko has Tomiyasu, he has even Jakub Kivio in the mix. Declan Rice has Thomas Partey and Jorginho. When you look at Odegaard, he has Fabio Vieira. I think even Kai Havertz, he has Declan Rice and Thomas Partey. Saka has no competitor. That is really bad. Martinelli has lots of competitors onto him. Emily Smith-Rowe, Trossard, and Reece Nelson. All those 3 are really up for that position. Gabriel Jesus has Edin Ketia to compete with. So you need players that can obviously be competitive in every position. So that's why it's very bad to keep a player at your team when that player doesn't push to go into the starting 11. But lastly, about Sacha Boey, there is something I had gone ahead to forget, that this guy was wanted by Bayern Munich, and Galatasaray said he's not for sale. Now, we don't know what's going to happen later, because Arsenal can obviously convince them and tell them that, please, we are having Cedric Soares, and let's make a swap and get you like 10 million euros, and then you get a Sacha Boey, because for Bayern Munich they're offering money and not offering a player, to obviously suit in that system. And if you are Galatasaray, you can obviously tell Arsenal that we have to add in more clauses that can obviously increase that deal to like 25 million pounds. You get? And I think Arsenal will be okay with such a deal. But it looks like the player is not for sale according to the team that he plays for, but in the game of football and the game of transfers, never say never. And I think Sacha Boey being wanted by Bayern Munich shows you exactly the quality that he possesses onto the field of play. That is Sacha Boey for you. So guys, tell me your thoughts about Sacha Boey to Arsenal. Arsenal keen to sign the player, and Cedric Soares out. Will you let him out, or you should let him run his contract down and leave the side of Arsenal? Remember, when he leaves the side of Arsenal right now, Arsenal will save some good wages and some good amount of money, because I know he's not below £100,000 a week, meaning that he earns £500,000 a month times 6 months. That is £3 million. You get him out right now, you get in like £2 million for him. That means you are going to be having £5 million added onto the amount of money you're going to use either in the January transfer window or in the summer transfer window. Rokani David remains my name. Your thoughts are welcome. A sign out for now. See you later. Good morning. And may the living to God bless you abundantly. And don't forget to subscribe. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. We sign out for now. See you later, my mates.